Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for July 2015, and there is a more outward, lighter vibration around as far as the Sun and Mars are concerned as the month begins, because both of them are in the area which emphasizes children, young people energy, but also the energy of animals, pets, as well, and romantic encounters or romantic attachments. And you're more likely to feel that lightness through appreciation coming to you from others as well, and be participating in activities that you find fun or positively empowering. So until the 9th, though, the mental focus could be more turned inward a little bit, thinking about the past, thinking about maybe family or extended family, or maybe it's not like that, maybe it's about property, maybe it's about a space, inside, outside space. Correspondence and discussions may be centered around that. It could be that you are in some way harking back to the past. Maybe your mind is running along the lines of the good old days and how it used to be, that kind of thing. But whatever it is, it does tend to be a slightly busier time mentally, and socially as well. But I was going to say mentally, but it's kind of tinged a little bit with your emotional self as well. More than usual. That's up until the 9th. And then between the 9th and the 24th, Mercury goes into exactly the same area as the Sun and Mars in this extrovert energy. It's more outgoing, and it's got a very, very young feeling with it. It's innovative, it's enterprising, and you could be enjoying playing with ideas, perhaps interacting with young people, or maybe conversations are around revolving around young people or animals, or with romantic connections, or about romantic connections. It is a kind of jokier energy in general, and you could feel appreciated by others more at this time as well, whether that's in a romantic sense or another sort of a way. In the first week, we come to the very last little drop of the Uranus-Jupiter transit, which has been in a really good angle coming towards us from the sky for a while now, and that is good fortune, which could come from a bolt from the blue. It depends on how these planets are sitting in your natal chart to know the likelihood of them delivering it in a certain sort of way, but however minor way they may be aspecting each other in your natal chart, it's still an aspect which, if we dare something, if we push the envelope in some sort of way, if we think outside of the box, then it's likely that we get some kind of constructive reward coming from that. It's just an energy which can teach us something as well. And then also we have Pluto and the Sun, and Uranus and the Sun doing a little bit of a dance around each other's degrees. Pluto and the Sun, both of them in a really good angle for you, Pisces. A bit more pressure on you, perhaps initially, to let go of something in order to clear the decks, in order for a breakthrough to be made. But you will feel a relief coming from this, and it is almost like organically part of a natural cycle. Even though this is in a good angle to your sun sign, it might mean that you have to sort of, you don't literally have to prise your hands apart to let go of something, but you might feel a kind of reluctance to let go of something. And then Uranus and the Sun go across each other, and that means that it can be a slightly tenser time when that happens. But neither of those are hugely a really huge thing in your sun sign chart anyway. And then we have the Sun and Mercury moving on the 23rd. They will be moving into a more practical area to do with daily tasks and getting on with those, maintenance, repairs, but also work, work colleagues, service providers. Those are the types of things where we are maintaining or repairing external objects and equipment, or having it done, or indeed looking after the body more, and diet, exercise, that kind of thing. And it might be that you are more aware of these types of ideas for another, not just for yourself as well. So getting things organized better, getting it all sort of, you know, getting the routines right there. And maybe learning a skill, adding a new string to your bow, or blowing the dust off an old one. That's another thing that could be happening with that. But Mercury will be focusing your mind definitely upon that. Helpful. You know, you're here to assist. I'm here to help you. I'm here to be of service to you in a practical, useful way. That side of life, okay. And also others are likely to be there, but the Venus energy, apart from July the 19th to August the 1st, when she's bringing more ease and flow into your personal relationships and your business type associations, Venus is also in this very practical mood. So if you're having to deal with a health situation, it could be that a female energy, or the energy of somebody that you feel as though you can get on with, that you can do business with, will be very helpful in regard to this. And others will probably be there to support you, whether that is providing you with a service, or just being in cooperation with you, or it might be that they are friends supporting you whilst you are working harder with your tasks, or wanting to complain about how much you've got on your shoulders, or indeed it might be to do with health matters, and it might be yours or somebody else's. And of course, I don't mean complain that you're grumbling all the time. I simply mean that you are perhaps describing what is going on for you. But being a Piscean, you're more likely to keep stum about it, aren't you? And there comes a time when, if we reach out, and this is one of those times to reach out for help, others are lovingly offering their service in some way or another. And if it's not lovingly, then it will be perhaps competently, in a friendly sort of a way. So you're likely to have a more reasonable interaction with others who are being helpful, but also if you are being the one who's being the help to another, then it's likely to go, you know, the understanding is likely to be flowing between you. And that Venus transit is a very long one. We'll be going through there until October, and it will be alongside Mars. It will be alongside Jupiter. Jupiter is there as well, sort of helping you to learn, to have a new understanding of things in a practical sense. It might be about health, it might be about something else, it might be about the job, it might be about technology, it might be about those practical, useful tools of everyday life that we can use. And you could be learning new things there, or you could be getting a deeper understanding of what certain symptoms are about, or what certain reactions are about, sort of like what's underlying these things. Yeah, there will be a lot for you to learn there. You Pisceans born the 10th to the 20th of March, or with 20 to 29 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. And just to say, though, that from the 10th onwards, we get a little interaction coming from Saturn onto Venus, which means that you'll feel like you have more on your shoulders there in a relationship, in these kind of practical interchanges, or one or the other of you being of assistance to each other, or in a kind of working type, teaming up in a working type environment as well. You've got just a bit more pressure going on there. You just got to push a bit harder. And then towards the end of the month, from the 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will cross each other by a degree, and that will go on into August. And this one is more rooted in the past, like something that was embarked upon or started maybe about 7 years ago. And that'll be coming up to be tested now by this Saturn transit. And if you're feeling something has its roots that far in the past, maybe it's the ramifications of that or the knock-on effect of that, and it's not allowing you or somebody else not to develop and grow and flourish in the way that you would desire, then it may be time to rethink aspects of things, or indeed to let something go altogether. There may be a bit of a squeeze on opportunities for expansion, though, whether you see it as rooted in the past or not. So just push that little bit harder, be that little bit more persevering, and take things step by step, and you should be successful in the end. Right, I mentioned Mars and the Sun being in the same place, by the way. Mars can be a bit pushy and a bit hasty in the area regarding children, young people, animals, pets, and also a myriad of other sort of creative enterprises and projects. So just be careful of that aspect of Mars being there. But whatever's going on, you're likely to feel more in your power and more in touch with your child within. I said to you that between the 5th and the 7th, there could be some pressure on you to let go of something, and then you get this feeling of relief as you feel unburdened. This Mars energy here then will kick in even more, because you feel that you are more able to feel rewarded or empowered by whatever it is that you're doing. And that energy in general is very good for the entrepreneurs and creatives among you Pisceans, or any one of you who is getting into something which is allowing you to, which you feel that you get a lot out of, and that you get appreciated for as well. Or you're looking at somebody or something that you very much appreciate, and that in itself is a boost and sort of lifts your spirits. Now, Saturn has returned to her previous position, and she is actually currently going through the area of your ideologies, really. And so you'll be seeing things warts and all. This is affecting the very last degrees of Scorpio, so it will tend to affect the last degrees of Pisces a little bit more. That's to say, those of you born 17th of March onwards, or with from 27 degrees onwards rising, but the whole sign will be involved in this. This long transit, and this is just the tail end of it, will be sort of tie things up, will bring something to completion regarding a place abroad, those at a distance, a field of interest which maybe you've been familiar with. This will teach you new things within that field, or indeed cut them down to size so you realize the reality of it. Or maybe it's cutting down an idea or an ideal to size, and you will be seeing that idea kind of through less rose-tinted spectacles, put it like that. Taking wider communications more seriously as well. That is part of this, and anything to do with broadcasting and wider communications across a broader stage, legal matters, and, as I said before, long-distance connections. So you are developing this maybe wisdom coming to you now, and it's not just a question of having the knowledge and the clever sort of academic knowledge, but this is like applied knowledge, and then distilling the essence and the wisdom of that, and appreciating somebody else's wisdom on something, because at this time there could be a teaching or a teacher that comes to you during this transit of Saturn. And then, well, Jupiter I've mentioned, so we don't need, I don't know whether I told you the dates on Jupiter. You Pisceans born the 10th to the 20th of March, or with 20 to 29 degrees rising, going to feel that energy of Jupiter the most in your work area and also your area of the job and colleagues and co-workers, and also health matters, your own or somebody else's. So it's generally a really helpful energy in that area for you, coming from Venus and Jupiter at the moment. And then Neptune's in your sign for many years, and it will bring out a lot of your Piscean traits, like you being the enabler for others, you being the one that's there to support others. I would say that you would probably have to refine this extremely spiritual, we could call it spiritual, we could also call it the energy of otherworldliness. It's the least materialistic of all of the energies, to refine it so that you manage to walk the two paths, the path of materiality and having your own unique physical life to live, at the same time as integrating that with that higher service and that support for others. But in the doing of that, maybe you it seesaws for a while, and you have to pull yourself back from being too much the martyr or too long suffering, or indeed tucking yourself away too much and basically escaping from everything and just kind of doing a blanking on everything, which is kind of a Piscean thing to do. And you Pisceans born the 26th of February to the 1st of March, yes, I know it's been there a long time, or with 8 to 11 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. It's because this planet, which moves very slowly, has sort of gone forwards and backwards, and that's why it's been sort of in the same little area for quite a while. And that's it for July. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also, if you want to check any of this out, it's written up on my website there for all to see. And that's DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time.